Hey, what's up? I got a raw 7 L1R5 for my GCO levels. That's a net 3. And I was able to achieve this without tuition, without being naturally smart, and from just studying like 2 hours a day. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can like avoid burnout. Not just deal with burnout, but avoid it like entirely as an O level student. And yeah, by the end of this video, I promise that you'll probably be able to be more able to avoid burnout because this was this video about. By the way, my name is Isaac and I help O-level students get single digit L1R5s without sacrificing their free time and their happiness. If you watched me before and you want me to help you start getting single digit L1R5s in 90 days while studying less hours, literally studying less, scroll down and click the top link in the description below right now. Because you probably have like days where you stay out like until 12 a.m. studying like chemistry or geography or one of those content heavy subjects. There are actually ways to be able to study that much faster, like compress those 5 to 6 hours of studying into just 2 hours of studying per day, which is what I did to get my raw 7. And if you want that, if you want me to help you do that, scroll down and click the top link in the description below right now. Alright, so let me tell you a story first. So I just told you, right? I got a raw 7. Okay? And so basically, I'm gonna tell you why I got raw 7 instead of a raw 6. It was my fault. So basically, my grades were, for the maths and sciences, I got all A1s. And so the thing stopping me from getting a raw 6 was both of my humanities were A2s, right? Geography and history plus SS were both A2s. And that's what stopped me from getting my raw 6. And why did I get A2s is the what I'm gonna talk about in this story. So I actually sort of like semi burnt out near the O levels. Like the week or the few months before the O levels, I like kind of semi burnt out and was not able to I was just not able to study. Same thing kind of happened to me like before PSLE. So basically like I would be at the start of the year I would be like hype, I would be like motivated as hell. Like January I would be just like motivated as hell. O level starts in October, right? Yeah. And I would just keep studying, I would just keep studying, I'll keep going, I'll keep going, I'll keep going. And then sometime like around what's the month before October? Wait, it's just gonna check it real quick. Oh, September. Alright, sometime around September, right? This September out, the motivation just suddenly like dipped to like basically zero, which is kind of like burnout. And so during like the what 2 to 3 weeks before the O levels, I was just constantly having those bad days, right? Bad days. I hope the same thing. This happened to me in PSI as well. I hope this same thing doesn't happen to me in A levels. So I kept having those bad days. Like I would wake up, I would plan my time. Like this day today I wanna study geography. This chapter I'll study this chapter. I wanna do this practice paper. I wanna do this, do that. And then when I woke up, I did fucking nothing. And then I just like went to my laptop and like started going onto the random like ass websites like Wikipedia, rabbit holes, like stuff like that. And I just spent like time on that for like what 5 hours, 4 5 hours a day. And then it would be like the afternoon and I realized, oh shit, I haven't done anything, like no studying at all. And so basically like because for most of my subjects, for my maths and sciences and my languages, I actually did alright. Okay, I mean I got A1s for my maths and sciences, so I did quite well for them because I was spamming a lot of practice papers. But for humanities, you can't really spam practice papers to that much, except for geography. You can for geography, but I didn't do it because I was dumb. And you can also you can start doing it. So So I thought that I had to basically just study content by reading the notes and the textbook for history and geography, which is sort of true for history but not for geography. Um, so I would so I would be trying to do that like 2 to 3 weeks before the O levels, and then this would happen. Like the freaking bad days would happen, right? This would happen. I would wake up. I would not do work. I would doom scroll on Wikipedia, or like some fandom, some like random site on there as well, and like I don't know what else there's called. I would I know I would binge YouTube, I guess. That's like something that I always did on my bad days. And like eat freaking junk food from Ashes Burn It. Like I would order Grab food because I was too freaking lazy to just go downstairs to eat lunch. And I would order like Ashes Burn It. It's a really really good burger place. And but it's like processed food, so I was eating that for lunch. Okay, and so because I burnt out, like I was depending on these 2 to 3 weeks to basically get all my remaining content knowledge in for my history and geography, but during these 2 to 3 weeks I kept burning out and having these bad days, so I got like 10% of the actual studying done, 10% of what I actually wanted to study, and so my content knowledge when I entered the exam hall for history and geography was horrible. My content knowledge was like I knew like 50% of the whole thing. Like of the whole subject, freaking subject. And that's why I got an A2 instead of an A1. I didn't get like B's or C's or any worse because I had like the sleep buff. And with the sleep buff, the sleep buff, like sleeping well, I slept pretty well, and because of this, like if you have the sleep buff, like you kind of like memorize things without even trying to memorize them. So I still knew like I could hold on to some of the content, and for those questions that did not require like content knowledge, I was able to ace all of those because of the sleep buff as well. As yeah, that's why I got raw 7 instead of a raw 6. It was because of burnout. So I'll teach you how to avoid burnout, and yeah, hopefully I wouldn't like go through the same shit again in A levels, so that cause now I know what to do, and so that you don't like go through the same shit when you get to your O levels. Alright, so how burnout works is basically you have this is energy and this is time. Not really time, more like effort. Like effort you put into studying, academics, whatever you're working on. And at first you have a lot of energy, a lot of motivation. You'll be so motivated, like, oh, I'm gonna study the entire freaking syllabus in the June holidays. It's a very ridiculous thing I thought I could do. So yeah. And as you spend more effort, your energy will slowly like go down in this kind of curve. And then when it reaches zero, this is when like burnout basically occurs. And so what you want to do to avoid burnout is two things. Number one, you want to actually increase this amount of time, right? The amount of time from when you start putting in effort to when you burn out, you want to increase this amount of time. You want to burn out slower. You want to be this graph right here instead of this graph, or maybe even like better. So how do you do that? It's through passion, for lack of a better word. So basically, you have to love studying. You have to like studying more, or homework, or whatever you're doing. And a really really good way to do that is to just pick a studying method that's more rewarding and fulfilling. Cause yeah, just pick one that's more fulfilling and rewarding. This is probably different for for different people, but I believe that for most people, the study method that's more fulfilling and rewarding should be practice papers. Like instead of just reading a textbook, because reading a textbook and like reading the notes is boring as hell. Practice papers. When you do practice papers, you're actually like doing something, and when you take away the time limit and you make it open book, it becomes like kind of fun, like kind of this game where you're just like, you're chilling and just doing questions, and it really really helps with like avoiding burnout. I only burn out when I'm forced to like read stuff, because reading is just so freaking boring and draining for me. I really love it when I'm doing things, doing the questions, because I get the sense of reward and dopamine after I finish every question and after I finish every paper. So practice papers, right? Practice papers are overpowered for for basically loving your work more. It might seem like difficult at first, but that's where like the sense of reward comes in. It's because it's difficult at first. That's why when you finish it, you get that amazing sense of reward, that amazing feeling of being proud of yourself and loving yourself for once. But yeah, so that's a really good way to love studying more, is to make the work rewarding. Change the way you're studying to make it more rewarding, instead of like, so basically read less and do more, right? You can take away the time limit, you can make it open book, and just like spam a few questions like every weekend, like 1 to 2 hours a weekend is quite nice for practice papers, and you'll also get a lot of like returns on this in terms of your grades. There's a lot of benefits to doing practice papers instead of just reading the notes or the textbook, or copying the notes or textbook, or making like summaries of the entire syllabus. I don't know why people do that. I used to do that as well. It's not a good way to study and a massive waste of time. Alright, so if you do this, your graph will probably look more like this rather than this. Alright, so, but even if it looks like this, you notice that even if you increase the time it takes to burn out, you'll eventually still burn out. So how do you avoid that, right? How do you avoid it? There's a very simple way to avoid it, which is just to take a break before you need a break. Right? So burnout, how do you identify burnout first of all? So it happens when you're disciplined enough, like you have already sat down on the study desk and you're already like doing the work, but you realize that the work you're doing, you're not doing it as fast, and you're not doing it to an high enough quality as usual. So basically, I actually burnt out once with this YouTube channel. I was basically scripting videos, right? Every morning I would script videos. So one day I scripted a video, but after I scripted the first paragraph, I was like, man, screw this shit. And that's like a massive sign of burnout, because like you already have the discipline to start doing the work. By right, you should have entered a flow state and you should be enjoying like doing the work, and then the next thing you know, you're already done with the work. But if that doesn't happen, if you're like halfway through the work, you suddenly that you just don't feel like doing the work, you've already entered the work, you already used the 90% of the discipline that you needed to use, then that's a burnout issue. It's not a discipline issue. And so what do you do when you burn out is you take a break. Yeah, you take a break before you need a break. So how do you take a break? Like spend the entire day doing like fun shit. Not okay, I have to stress, like try not to do anything related to like your phone or your laptop. Try not to like play video games for the whole day, or watch Netflix for the whole day, or like scroll on social media for the whole day, because that's quite fucky, right? And that will also ruin your productivity for the next few days, because bad habits they have long term like consequences. And also you probably wouldn't get that much of a rest or recover from burnout from doing that, because the screens thing, bad habits like Netflix, video games, social media, they tend to be quite stimulating, meaning they actually take up more of your brain power rather than replenish your brain power. So what I would recommend is to like, spend an entire day like with like a friend. Spend an entire day just going outside. Like just spend your entire day like, I don't know, exploring Singapore. Like go on an adventure. Like grab your EZ-Link card and just go to some random MRT station like on the other side of the country, and just like take random buses and see where you end up. You know, talk to people outside, talk to strangers or whatever. Like, you can go on an adventure. You can spend the entire day in, like, I don't know, a swimming pool if you like swimming. You can, what else? Yeah, hang out with friends for the whole day. You can, I don't know, cycle. There's so many things you can do. Just as long as it's not related to screens, right? Just try to avoid screens. There's so much like fun shit you can do during the day. You can like play Monopoly or whatever card game or board game with your family members. You can, what else? Just go outside. Like, a lot of stuff happens outside. Like, if you trap yourself in this, like, what, 100 centimeter cube like area, there's your house, you don't have much to do. So naturally, if you want stuff to do, you go outside. Okay. So, yep, that is how you take breaks. And you do this for like the entire day or entire 2 days until you feel like you have enough energy, you've replenished enough energy to go back to work. And I want to stress that if you do feel like you're burning out, this is. Wait. Nothing, never mind. If you do feel like you're burning out and you kind of have this productivity debt of feeling like you have to do work, like, just ignore it and just take a break. It's like more, because this will be like a lot more of a long-term benefit, more sensible, more logical decision to take for your long term. Because if you keep working even though you're like burning out, your work productivity will be a lot less, and it will be screwed up basically. Like, you won't be able to do a lot of work in the first place. So, like, quite interestingly, like, the discipline thing to do when you burn out, the discipline thing to do when you burn out is to just take a break. Because you have to, like, force yourself to take a break instead of just keep trying to work. Alright, I hope this video was valuable. Once again, if you want me to personally help you get single digit L1R5s without sacrificing your free time, scroll down and click the top link in the description below, and I will make sure, right, that you see those A1s on your report card when you report to school to collect your O-level results a few months or a year from now. And you'll be able to basically go to any JC or poly that you want. So if you want that, scroll down and click the top link in the description. Click the top link in the description below right now. Give me any criticism or feedback in the comments below, and I wish you a good day.